Okay, coming up we have Goof Troop Co-op Hard Mode by Alko and Edenal. Spoilers.
Yay!
Spoilers. Edenal is actually him.
Introducing the one and only Kenny Man, who has changed a little bit.
It's transformed quite a lot and now looks like Edenal.
Yeah. Just to show you very quickly, we went on the options screen. Up on the top you can see a 3, that's for hard mode, and under these squares you can always see a 2, that's for the barrel pickup mode 2. That's press to grab a barrel and release to throw the barrel. And are you ready on the timer?
Wait, do we have Blackie? Blackie on?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
You can increase his volume a bit.
Hi, Blackie. Hey, Blackie.
Hey, Blackie.
Hey. How's everyone
Hello.
doing? You can hear me A-okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I see all you guys waving. I love it.
Oh yeah. Woo! We can hear you good now.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So, welcome to USA, man. Why are you
Thank
not
you
here in
very
person?
much. Yeah, I'm proud to be visiting you guys from overseas. And you know I love Goof Troop, so I'm happy to commentate whenever you guys get started.
Awesome.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm Blackie and I absolutely love Goof Troop. There's a lot of really cool things about Goof Troop. I run the game co-op with Cypher, and yeah, so I'm happy to just kind of talk about what makes it such a great game. You can see here, I believe Edenal is Goofy and Alko is Max, correct? Or do I have that back?
Other way around.
Entirely wrong.
Okay. Okay. So Edenal is Goofy and Alko is Max. And
Still wrong.
Wait, can I get that backwards again?
I am Alko and I am Goofy.
Okay,
Because I love
Alko's
goofing
Goofy.
around.
Awesome.
And that was co-op hype.
So what makes it so great is these two characters, Goofy and Max, both have very distinctive things about them. Goofy basically walks slower than Max when not carrying an item, but faster than it. Or when Max is not carrying an item, Goofy will walk faster than him, and if Max does carry an item, then Goofy will walk faster.
Max, please.
So they have a lot of strengths and weaknesses, and another one is that Goofy does 5 damage per hit, whereas Max does 4 damage per hit. So for example, these chubby pirates you see on screen right now, Max would take 2 hits to kill any of them, whereas Goofy would take only 1. So a lot of the kind of idea of this game is that Max basically walks from screen to screen as quickly as possible, and Goofy does whatever he can to support him getting there. And that's basically kind of the idea of it. You can see here, for example, also that in that porcupine room that Goofy was just kind of trying to support Max by knocking everything out of his way so that Max could just get to place over and over again. And that's kind of the idea of the game. Alko was talking a little bit about how they set it to difficulty 3, and the significance of that is that in the English version, which I'm used to, there's only one set of puzzles, which are pretty easy comparatively to what you're seeing here. And in the Japanese version, I think maybe Well, Edna was telling me a little bit how there's one I think that's close to the English version, and then
That is correct.
the other, yeah, and then the other two maybe are just way harder, with just blocks all over, like on every single puzzle screen.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's basically the idea of the Japanese version. Now, there's a lot of luck in this game. You can see that from the boss here. This entire boss is crazy luck, and when you're grinding out runs, it's going to have such an impact on whether your run just stops right here and you have to start it over, or if you have the God run and just keep going. Oh, that was a really good one, too. Awesome. Yeah, because these enemies that pop out can basically throw these worthless spike balls, or they can also throw barrels and bombs. And you want them to throw as many barrels as bombs as possible so you can throw them right back at them in their faces. Yeah, so now we're on to stage 2. There is really a lot of luck in this game. For the most part, in stage 1, you didn't see it until the boss. In stage 2, there's a fair amount. It's not
can
too
we pause
bad.
for a second? Sorry. Okay, go.
Carry on. Go.
Awesome.
Oh, damn, I need to die. Damn it. I should be dead here. This is a failing life management of Goofy, because I should be dead. Don't leave! Don't leave! Don't leave!
Yeah, so right here is where they'll start to use death abuse. I believe this is the first time in the run. And it's a pretty cool, neat idea. The idea is basically, since each character can only carry one item at a time, they want it so that Max can pick up both of these items, as you see here, and when Goofy respawns, basically, if there's only one player alive, he can carry 2 items, and if they're both alive, each player can only carry 1. So by having Max alive there, he's able to pick up both items, and then Goofy respawns so that he kind of takes over the item that Max got. If Goofy was still alive, Max could only pick up 1 at a time, and it would just not work out the same way. So yeah, as they keep going, you can see there's a bunch of different items in this game, which really add a lot of variety to the game. You have basically your grappling hooks, which serve as creating bridges or for knocking enemies around. You have your keys, which open doors. You have your boss keys, which open boss doors. You have a lot of like useless things for a run, like candles, which illuminate the. Oh man!
Pirate doing scene kick twice. Seriously.
This is a rough room, honestly. You want those enemies at the top to kick both blocks down.
Well, not necessarily. It suffices if he clicks one down and the other one to the right, but he's not even doing that.
Really? This guy?
So what the enemies do in that room?
Whatever,
really
carry on.
screw you over.
I'm dead now. I don't have to die here. That's good.
They'll be out of there.
When we did practice, we nailed that room every time. Of course.
In runs, it's a pretty common reset point because they can. Well, we're past it, so whatever.
They can do
there's a lot of stuff that. So there's also a health management thing to this game. Basically, you get fruit from underneath barrels, and the fruit whether or not fruit spawns, it's completely random.
I thought you wanted me to be dead here.
Yeah, but I still want you to spawn.
Oh, come on.
Whether or not fruit spawns underneath barrels is completely random, and it can really be very helpful. Either it's just either a crutch or just like necessary for a strat. So you really want to always try and have hearts. You can see at the top there, they have from 1 to 6 hearts. As long as you have at least 1 heart, then if you take damage, it'll empty out your hearts. If you take damage again when you have 0 hearts, then you just go flying off the screen and you lose a life. This boss is really fun. Basically, once you clear out those 4 barrels at the bottom, these two dudes come out the side of the screen and provide you with more. That was a really good fight. So well done there.
Yeah, it was amazing. The best fight we've had so far.
Nice. They can screw you over, both the boss, because the boss can do a few different things, and the the assistants or whatever can throw barrels to bad spots and screw you over. But yeah, but that went really well. Stage 3 is a lot of fun. There's a lot of very difficult rooms. It can range from basically like this room right here is pretty tight to just kind of grapple through. You can grapple through if you want. You can damage boost. Fortunately, they had the health and they were able to damage boost. That sliding spike room can be very difficult if you want to one cycle it, but safe strats can work out a-okay without losing very much time at all. This cannon room, it's another kind of spot where Goofy can really shine, because Goofy takes 4 hits to kill that cannon with cannonballs, and Max would take 5. So it's really just a useful spot. Oh man.
In normal difficulty, these enemies would be locked in and you can just kill them right away. But here you have to deal with them.
Deal with it.
I see Alko is pulling his weight.
Oh yeah. Son doing the work, father having, well, I would have a beer.
Oh yeah. Nice, Alko. I just looked over at the webcam and I see you ever so comfortably sitting there.
Yeah, these chairs are perfect. These are really great chairs.
So yeah,
But I'm back.
Max can be the star for quite some time at points. Yeah, so there are all kinds of puzzles. Like that one, you're supposed to hit those 4 switches in a row, as well as this same. It's the same idea in this room here. You want to hit the 4 switches in a row. And really, everything is so carefully routed in this game to make sure, because you have 2 characters available to you, and so it basically means that you have so many more options available to you as to which character does what. And a lot of time has been put into researching, you know, what the best strat is, both by Cypher and me and these guys and Randall, who's done a task of the game. Lots of time has been put into strategies for every single room of this game, except for this one, which is pretty straight.
Yeah, this is sort of Goof Troop's auto-scroller, because we have to wait for that platform to come back. There's no way we're making it first time. Yeah. And then, yeah, I pretend... No! I didn't make the platform, so I don't have to kill myself, but I can, because, you know, Goofy strats.
Remember, I go left here, you go right.
Yes.
Something very helpful is basically in 2-player mode, if a player dies on any screen, then they can't come back on that screen.
Cannon's cooperating.
Nice. As soon as you walk onto a different screen, that player can respawn, which makes the death abuse strats all the more interesting and fun.
Whoops, this is bad. Actually, I'm going to kill myself. And it also means that if one player gets low on life, they can just kill themselves, assuming the other one can still get through, and respawn next run.
This boss is probably my favorite boss of the run, because there's a lot of things he can do, and there's a lot of adaptation required. You can see, basically, the red one throws out 3 bones, which don't bounce, and the blue one, this is actually pretty good luck, I think, and the blue one throws out 2 bones, which do bounce. And not only that, so you want to try and make sure that no bones are wasted. And not only that, but there's a phase 2 to the boss, where once each of them take enough damage, then each one independently will, instead of jumping, throw its head out at you. And obviously what that means is that while its head is homing in on you, it won't throw more ammo at you for you to throw back at it. And so there's just kind of a lot of, you need to decide, do I hold on to this bone, or do I throw it immediately, stuff like that, or do I just finish off this boss as soon as possible? Now in phase 2, they're not getting great luck, unfortunately, but they're doing what they can with it.
You should be done now.
He can't hit me!
Nice. Stage 4 is the first time in a run where you'll actually see a couple of repeating rooms. Otherwise, everything is really quite unique. There's never a repeating room outside of 2 rooms in Stage 4. Also in Stage 4, you really kind of want to have decent luck with health drops, which unfortunately they did not get. Because in this frog room, you really want to be able to just traipse right through the 2 frogs. But unfortunately, the barrels ahead of time did not give them the fruit that they wanted, so they weren't able to do that, and they had to wait for
Who
ammo
likes
to
ice
come to them.
physics?
Yep.
Ice fix.
Even Goof Troop has ice physics. You can't deny it. Only for, I think, those two rooms, though. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it.
Let's see, how does this soft lock work here?
Oh, okay. It's I'm so glad you asked. So there's a wonderful soft lock in this game where if you kill, if you hit one of the fat pirates too quickly, the game just like doesn't know what to do. And so it just completely soft locks the game. The beautiful music keeps going, but the game just freezes. And he has this weird look on his face that I don't understand at all. But that's the long and short of how the soft lock in this game works. And Cypher and I, like it's this room right here where you do it.
Sorry, my bad.
And
Max, please.
for Cypher and my run back in AGDQ 2013, like we were okay with no matter what happened in the run. All we really wanted was to freeze the game so that we had to restart it. Unfortunately, we were able to pull that off. That was a lot of fun.
I remember that.
Yeah, that
Also,
was a beautiful thing.
I'm counting 3 repeating rooms by now. It's the one with
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the
it's way more
toads, the one around the corner, and the one with the barrels and the 4 enemies.
Yeah.
And coming up here is the worst puzzle.
Oh no, it's one of my favorites because
When we were practicing this, we were really getting on each other's nerves.
With
Because
the
we couldn't
block
agree how
figures
to
or
do
the
it.
dark room.
in the medium or EU-US difficulty, I sort of instinctively knew how to do it. It was extremely fun. Whoa, where am I? There I am. That's what you get if you stand like a pixel away from where you should
We were
be
so close
standing,
to finishing
speaking
it.
of it.
Hello, please.
So yeah, I talked a bit about how there's all kinds of weird items in this game that you don't see often in a speedrun. For example, there's a candle somewhere in this stage which kind of doubles your light radius, and that would make it more useful on a casual playthrough, but obviously in a speedrun you know where you're going and you don't need to see double the space. There's also a shovel in the game, kind of like a Link to the Past digging game,
No.
where you can just
I'm
kind
gonna
of dig
learn
up,
over
fruit and lives and whatever, but that's not useful either in a speedrun.
Also, the candle was in the room right before the dark maze, so you sort of knew that a dark maze would be coming. Oh.
So this room has something pretty interesting about it. If you want to kick the sliding blocks to the 2 spots, the star spots on the floor, but and after that happens, there's a brief, for a few seconds, the screen shakes while the waterfall on the previous screen goes away. But if you leave the screen on a 2-frame window to the same at the very same time that the last block falls into place, then you can skip that and you can save that. You can prevent that shaking animation from appearing and just continue on.
Oh, whoa! Tell me that. There you go. Also, moonwalk shown off during this boss fight. I call this thing moonwalk. It sort of only works with these hasty settings for barrel stuff. I just mash B and walk in a direction.
Anyway,
Nice little thing
that
to show
previous room where we had to do a 2 cycle, we haven't found a strat for 1 cycle, and I don't believe it's possible in hard mode.
Yeah. Like easy mode, no problem, but medium mode, no problem, but hard mode, nope. And lag.
So, unlike the other bosses, this boss, not only does he not really care which one of whether it's Max or Goofy that hits him, he doesn't really, his damage, his health bar or whatever doesn't even work the same way.
Nice.
He has a set amount of hits to take. That was really cool. He has a set amount of hits to take rather than kind of a strict health bar. And so basically, as long as
Thank you.
as long as he takes that set amount of hits, he dies. It's 2 different caterpillars which have their own individual health counts. And you really can't speed it up too much in a speedrun. I believe that they'll always come out kind of in the same intervals between whatever cycles. So you really can't speed it up besides hitting them as soon as they come out of their little holes.
I think you actually can speed it up slightly. I feel I noticed from one play, although I'm not sure, I haven't tested it, that the time's always the same from when they go off screen to when there's the next earthquake. So if you can manage to get them off screen faster, i.e. making sure that the longer one gets hit while they're walking horizontally, then you might be able to save the odd split second towards the next earthquake, but otherwise there's not much to be done there. Also, I forgot to stall death.
Stage 5 is really difficult. There's a couple of really rough luck screens, and really just a lot of execution screens too.
Hard not alive.
I need a...
Once they get down to you know, the next under the next stairway or whatever, you'll see a really rough luck screen, and we'll see how that goes for them.
There we go. Yeah, the game is biased. It sort of sees that they have this many this many lives, and the more lives you have, the less likely a heart or life drop will be. So in this case, Max had 8 hearts while trying to pick up something, and yeah, it was like really unlikely that he would get a heart. Now, seam kick, please! This is what I call the seam kick. Somehow the game registers being on, well, 2 tiles at once as being on both tiles. In this, like, there we were able to, like, or I was able to, more like, stand on 2 tiles, one of them being nothing and the other one being ground. And while standing on the ground, so not falling down into the hole, was able to kick the block, which was actually standing 1 tile further to the left, which I shouldn't have been able to kick.
So this screen can be real dreadful. You want to kill all of these pirates as quickly as possible so you can get that hook in the lower right, but I mean, the cannons shoot not at fixed intervals. That wasn't too bad. The cannons shoot not at exactly fixed intervals, and the enemies, I mean, the enemies basically do whatever they want to some extent as well. They'll try and follow you, but
please come closer.
But there is some randomness there that can really screw you over.
This is also a very screwy room.
Yeah.
That's the one I wanted and needed. Apparently the bell works by luring the pirates into thinking there's food there. At least that's what the manual says.
I'm not sure. I gotta check out the manual sometime. I don't think I've ever read it myself. Oh, this room is completely different from what I'm used to. Jeez.
Oh yeah.
This is so weird.
Not too bad, though.
Once you've figured out how it actually works.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going back.
There was actually a debate, I can't remember, it was before Goof was featured at GDQ, which route through the stage 5 would be faster, whether it's the way we're taking, or whether you should, in the room with the cannons that shoot at maybe not fixed intervals, should go upwards to a room we'll be seeing later and grab a hook shot that we'll be grabbing earlier, and sort of making a detour there. Apparently it was resolved that this way was faster, because I haven't seen anybody do the other route anymore.
Yeah, for a while Cypher and I were doing the other route, and then I think Alko, it was you that said something about the alternative that you guys are doing here.
It was definitely me on the SDA forum there. Yeah,
and we definitely did decide that the route you're doing here is quicker. Unfortunately, it is a little bit more luck-based, because in that room that I was saying is such a nightmare, if you do get the hook first, in a separate room, then you can use that hook to completely eliminate any sense of luck in the cannon room. But since it is faster to do it without the hook and using the strat you guys are doing, you just have to kind of go with what the luck gives you, and hopefully it's faster.
Coming up is one of my favorite rooms.
Also, you'll notice Goofy grabbed a life, so Goofy strats are over.
So this room has some interesting thing to it. I put a lot of time into this room, and basically there's 8 different patterns for that elevator, and 6 of the 8 that was pretty good overall. 6 of the 8 have a kind of a beneficial arrow in the lower left tile, which would be, and by beneficial I mean it would go up or right. And for the 2 patterns that don't have a beneficial tile, the tile in the lower right is good instead. So you
first.
basically want to look in the lower left.
I said let me do
and
first.
If it's bad, then you use the lower right one, and that's exactly what Edenal did there. We're actually closing in on the end of the game, only a few rooms left, and fortunately, by which I mean absolutely unfortunately, the last boss of this game is the biggest luck point of the entire run. And he can basically do whatever he wants. What you want him to do is to throw bombs as much as possible, because like the boss of stage 1, that's the ammo that you use to defeat him. And so you want to get a lot of bombs, and what you don't want him to do is to shoot guns at you or to hop around like an idiot or anything like that. So we'll see what happens.
That was a good start to the boss. It actually can be goodish because it's restricted to 2 patterns now, namely this one and shooting his weird pistol thingy too. Yeah,
definitely agreed. If he goes up here, like, it feels like a time loss because he's just whistling and summoning his friends, but once he is up on that platform, he will throw bombs a lot of the time. Unfortunately, he can also shoot his friends to death, and that's what he did there. So you really just have to kind of go with what he gives you and hope he gives you bombs. It's basically, because Goofy does do more damage than Max, it's up to Goofy to do all the damage and Max to try and distract his friends down there and get them out of Goofy's way. They're not getting the best luck here, unfortunately, but it's old Keelhaul Pete, and what can you do? The story of this guy.
Pete, please.
The short version of the story is that this guy, Keelhaul Pete, is not the canon character that you've come to know and love in the Goof Troop series. He kidnapped the real Pete and his son, Pete Jr. or something, and basically you want to save your neighbors, Pete and Pete Jr., by defeating Keelhaul Pete by exploding space bombs.
I think it's one more something. I forgot to count.
PJ. Yeah, PJ.
Yeah,
yay, time! Good job.
I'm clapping from home. Well done, guys. That was a really good run.
Yeah, it was. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it was solid. Didn't make any bad mistakes like before. Yeah, and now we can either sit through long credits and get kicked by Flicky, or we can set up for the next game. I don't know which ones we would be wanting to do.
What's the next game?
Chippendale Race. Okay,
we
that'll
can start
take some
bringing in the
setting up.
consoles while we wait for the timer, I guess.
Possibly, yeah.
Thank you, Blakey. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Blakey. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, do you want to stay in the call for Chippendale?
Ooh.
Blakey?
Yeah, I'll stay for Chippendale.
Oh,
How
cool.
could I say it's 5:38 a.m., but
What better things you got to do?
Okay.
at 5:38 a.m. What else did I have to do?
Okay, during the downtime, I might as well read a donation. We have $10 from Nuda that says Goof. Thanks, Nuda.